Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another interview. The person joining me today is a choreographer on The Next Step, as well as helping out Amy Wright choreograph some dances. They also have been a dancer in some movies, and also they do film they're in little music video things, and yeah, they do really cool stuff basically. Anyway, the person joining me today is Pyro, who is one of the choreographers on The Next Step. So please welcome Pyro.
My name is Andrew Pyro CHUNG. Everyone calls me Pyro. I am associate choreographer on The Next Step, officially for season 7. Also working as a professional dancer for the past, say 15 years, working in the film and television industry. And yeah, started off as a battler, a freestyle battler, living out here in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you for that introduction. So my first question I've got for you is, what age did you start to dance?
What age did I start to dance? For some people, this seems really late whenever I tell people, but I actually officially got into dance when I was just turning 15 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
What type of dancing did you start with?
My first love, breakdancing.
Okay, breakdancing. Yeah, that's a really interesting style of dance. I think there's a lot of break dancers now. So did you learn from a previous professional dancer, or were they a teacher?
No, back in the day, at my time, man, just saying that I feel old. Back in the day, dance wasn't a thing where it was, when you thought about dance, you thought about ballet, girls. You just thought about girls before. So even me, when I first showed interest in dance, people were like, really? So breakdance was one of those easier segue type dances for guys to get into, just because at that time anyways, it seemed like not a lot of girls were really into it. Girls are killing it now, and that's amazing. But it was just easier for guys to get into and do at that time. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that story and everything. So my next question for you is, you were the founder of the Footnotes Academy, and what was it like creating that? If you want, you can introduce what the Footnotes Academy is as well.
Yeah, so Footnotes Academy started as a passion project here in Toronto. So I've traveled around a lot, teaching workshops and dancing, and trying to educate people within the street dance culture, like hip hop, popping, and breaking, and all that stuff. And Footnotes Academy is just kind of like that little missing piece in the puzzle that I find within dance training today. So it teaches people, instead of to learn choreography, it teaches people to learn what it is that they're capable of doing and applying that to the street dancing. So it teaches people to freestyle, teaches people to embrace their natural movement rather than training themselves to perfect someone else's choreography. So it helps them create their own original choreography, and just educates them within the vocabulary and the syllabus of street dance, which is very, I would say, kind of missing or lost or forgotten about in the past decade or so. So yeah, that's what Footnotes is mainly focused on.
Yeah, sounds like a really good thing that you've done there. How long has it been a thing? How long ago did you create it?
So we created it was 7 years ago, just about, almost 7 years or something like that. 2014 officially. The thing is right now it's still going on because there's a team, Footnotes is a dance crew of a handful of people that trained within Footnotes, and they're the top tier of the group. And then there's 3 other levels of companies and stuff where we continue to train people, but that training aspect of it isn't happening right now because of COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, is it difficult for like kind of like for you and like the people who go to there like during this time? Is it really difficult not being able to meet up and everything?
Yeah, and like, like people want to do online classes and stuff like that. But I just feel like the social aspect is super, super important within dance. So, especially within the type of training that we do. So we kind of decided to take a little hiatus until things make more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can totally understand like where you're coming from and everything. And fingers crossed if things will go to plan, you'll be back soon, hopefully.
It will. We gotta be optimistic. Come on, let's go.
Yeah, you will. So anyway, my next question for you is, alongside Amy Wright, you choreograph dances for the next step. What has been your favourite dance you've ever created for the show?
Ooh, that's a good one. Off the top of my head, I don't know. There's a couple for different reasons, I'd say the first one that comes off my head, I guess the duet with Izzy and Heathcliff. They did a hip hop duet when they first met. I forget the storyline exactly, but it was at the beginning of the season. I had fun with that because I got to kind of just be myself and not have to kind of follow any guidelines. I was like, here's a song, enjoy, Pyro. And I'm like, awesome. So I kind of just did my thing there, and they enjoyed it too, so that was always nice. There was one where Izzy and Ozzy had duet together as well. I enjoyed that one. That one was good for me because there's a street dance style called locking in there that I got to stick in there, and it's not so much in the spotlight these days, so it was nice for me to put it back out there, especially for the younger audience that kind of forgets about it as well. So it meant a lot to me in that way for that dance. And then there's other things, like when they're dancing with the flashlights, and I got to experiment with some things. Like, there's a lot of different moments throughout the season, but I guess that those are the things that stand out to me right now off the top of my head.
Yeah, all of those dances are really good. What seasons have you been choreographing? Like for the next step, what seasons did you choreograph for?
So here's the thing. I was first offered to come on to the next step in 2016. I couldn't though because I was working right when the next step happened, and oddly enough, the two studios that I was working on a movie called Disney Zombies, and it was literally the next door beside the studio of the next step. And Amy popped her head in, so she asked me. She was like, "Hey, can you come on to this season and choreograph some dances?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think I could." But then I got hired onto Disney Zombies, and oddly enough, I show up to the studio, and she's right next door, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" So it was kind of funny, but I only officially was available just starting season 7. That was the first official season I got to start working on the next step.
Okay, as I know Zombies is a really good thing on Disney as well, but I never knew they were in the same kind of area where they filmed it. That's really cool and interesting. Yeah, Trevor did Zombies, didn't he?
Yes, yeah, Trevor was on it. He was one of the characters on there too, so that was cool to kind of hang out with him and stuff, so it was good.
Okay, so my next question for you is, as well as creating dances, you also have appeared as a dancer in other movies, so what was it like kind of being in front of the camera?
In front of the camera? I love, performing is just, it's one of those things where you're kind of just you're dreaming, but you're awake, It's an amazing feeling to be able to share a performance or the floor with so many other talented people. It's definitely how I came up as a professional in front of the camera, but it was always my goal to get behind the camera and create, because the creating aspect is actually what I'm passionate about, not the performance. But you need to perform in order for you to understand both sides, so then you can create better. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah, so I'm always open to performing, even now on stage, in front of the camera, whatever it is, to continue to learn, and always be better at creating.
Thank you for sharing that, because you were in quite a few kind of movies, as I was looking at your IMDb. So like, what movies were you in? Like, what did you enjoy about them?
Oh man, lots of things. I mean, like Zombies was. I got to work on the Skeleton Crew, which is like the dance group that helps create a lot of the bigger dance scenes before the rest of the cast comes in and gets hired and stuff. So in that way, Zombies was a really big learning experience for me, because the choreographer on there, his name's Christopher Scott. He choreographs a lot of things for like So You Think You Dance, and just a lot of things. So I got to work alongside him and really learn a lot. For obviously the next step was an amazing experience, because that was actually my first time working on television. I usually work on film, on movies, and television's so fast paced, and Amy was just so good, and she appreciated me, and I just respected her and everything. She taught me so much about everything behind, like the scheduling and this and that. So I learned a lot about that stuff. So everything's like really good within learning. I also worked on like other things called like Full Out. There's another movie that recently came out not too long ago, which is called Work It. And I think they're both on Netflix or something like that. But yeah, those things like they really helped me out in the whole process. But everything's just like fun. I just love doing it all, you know? That like I'm a people person, so some people are like like, you know, like they just whatever, but you know, I love just like hanging out with people, and when everyone's passionate and working towards the same thing, like beautiful things can happen. So
Yeah, thanks for sharing like all of the memories and everything you've had. So my next question for you is: have you always wanted to be a dancer or choreographer, or was there another profession you wanted to do?
no, not always actually. So I'd say like growing up, I was always into like child and youth working. I would always be like volunteering for no reason at all when I was a kid to like help the kids with disabilities and stuff. And I don't know, it just made me feel good in that way. So I was pursuing like things like social work and child youth work and all that stuff, and volunteering at like a lot of different places at the same time while dancing. But then I don't know, dancing kind of just like started pulling me in. I started auditioning and started getting hired for different things, and it was pretty cool because when I'd work at like youth centers and stuff like that, I was able to apply my dance with it and like teach them dances and do this and do that and give them exercise and stuff like that. But then the more I kept getting hired for dance, my resume kept building, and then my resume kept pulling me into a lot of different jobs and into this world that I'm living in now, you know. But I still have a big passion, just reaching out to youth and you know, I used to do like motivational speaking and like go around to different schools and high schools and stuff like that. And yeah, that's still definitely like a passion of mine, and I feel like it aligns within my dance career. That so I can reach out to the youth during my my spare time, you know. So yeah.
So my next question for you is, what was it like working with the Next Step cast?
Oh man, it was awesome. Right off the bat, I'll say Shelby. Just I parked my car and she didn't even know who I was. They just heard that there was another associate choreographer coming in, and I showed up early. And I parked my car, and then they were just like sitting in front of the studio because it wasn't open yet, where we rehearse. And just off the bat, she was just like, "Are you Pyro?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hey," and I didn't really know anybody at that time. And she's just like, "You have to move your car because you can't park there." I'm like, "All right," but then I was a little caught off guard, but everyone was so nice. Like everyone was so super nice and welcoming. Like they're super energetic when they're like acting on the show, but they are just awesome people like all the time, you know. And yeah, I got to do some like cool things with them, like go over to the UK and travel with them as the choreographer and help them with like setting things up and rehearsals and basically the tour manager for that CBBC show that they did. And the first time I met Briar was at the J-Lo concert that she was at, so I got to go there and meet her for the first time and be introduced and be like, hey, we're working together this season, so you know. And then I sat down, enjoyed the concert, so that was really cool too. But yeah, we became pretty good friends, you know. Like they all showed a lot of appreciation throughout the whole season, because I worked as hard as I could, and because I could see how hard they work, so they deserve someone that was there to have their back, you know. So
Yeah.
it was just a full on positive experience. And you know how like you do a job, but it doesn't matter what the job is because the people around you are just so cool.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was. Like it didn't really matter what it was. Like even if we were just hanging out, like it would have been awesome, you know.
When you were mentioning about you were traveling with them and everything, did you go on the 2019 Australia and UK tour?
No, I had to. I no, I couldn't travel. I wish I could. That because that looked like a lot of fun. I couldn't go on that because I got booked on Work It, the movie Work It. So I had to jump onto that set right away.
So my next question for you is, did anybody inspire you to get into dancing?
Um, Nothing like in specifics. Like I always, my older sister was always into dance, but she was like doing ballet and stuff like that. So it was always cool to like watch her and see the work it takes to be a dancer. Because I feel like we're so used to like watching dance on the screen and seeing it be so cool and everything, but we don't see like how much work goes into it beforehand. So that gave me a lot of respect for it. But then, you know, no one in specific. Like at the beginning, when I started dancing, there wasn't YouTube, there wasn't the social media aspect of it. So, you know, there was like music videos, and you know how music videos are. It shows like 2 milliseconds of dancing and then moves on to something else, and it's literally those little clips in different music videos I'd see and be like, oh, what was that, that looked cool. I'd try to record it, rewind it, or you know, wait for it to come out again. And I would literally go to school, meet up with my friends, and just start practicing things that I'm not even sure what I'm doing, but I would like try to practice it. But it's just little clips like that I got to see, that kind of inspired me. So nothing like specific in that way. There's lots of people that, you know, influence me now that I'm more into the dance industry and know a lot of dancers. But at the beginning, it was, you know, whoever those dancers are in those music videos, thank you very much.
Yeah, so you kind of like, I can get what you mean, like they like pulled you in and interested you and you wanted to watch them again.
It just sparked something in me when I saw it. I was like, oh, I want to try that. That's really cool. So
Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing to be inspired by. So my next question for you is, what goes through your head when you're creating or choreographing a dance?
It really depends on the song, you know. The song really pulls me in, and then I just start dancing to it, like as if I'm the dancer instead of I approach it as the dancer, you know. So I just start freestyling and dancing and singing. If I'm creating something that I just want to create for my own personal thing, then I probably have like a message. I always want to portray some type of meaning, some type of meaning towards my performance. Um, but if I'm performing for film and television, then I need to have like this outer body experience and pretend I'm the actor or the main character or whatever it is, because most likely it's following a script, you know? So there has to be also a message to it, but not my message, you know? So yeah, just having that like just kind of getting into character and then starting to create from there. So this it just depends on like what I'm choreographing for or what type of song it is.
My next question for you is, as well as dancing, you've also kind of like you've created like little music videos and other like photography and filming things. So what was it like kind of creating them?
In aspects of like just my own stuff.
Just your own stuff. Like I know on your Instagram you've got a highlight saying like videos, and then you got your photography account and things. So
Yeah, yeah. No, I like I said before, like I am a dancer, but I was always passionate about the creative aspect. So, and that doesn't go for just dancing. Like a lot of my videos that I create, and sometimes I'm in and out of it. But if I'm not in front of the camera, I'm most likely filming it myself. And I love just like meeting up with different artists, and I feel like photography and videography allows me to do that. I can meet up with people, visual artists, models, actors, singers, and film them in like a way that I see it from my experiences of working on film sets and stuff like that. So I get to like practice um, different ways of being creative, and yeah, and it's really like an experience for both sides of people in front and myself, because I get to express myself in a different way without people without all the eyes on me. So sometimes it's easier to do it that way, you know.
yeah, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, it must be kind of nice, like you said, to like be see it in a different perspective and everything.
Exactly. And like and to be real honest, I mean, you know, like it's a blast, and don't make it seem like I'm taking my dance career for granted, but when you dance for so long or do anything for a really long time, like it doesn't matter if how much you love it, because I love dance. Sometimes you need like a little balance of something else in there, another outlet, you know. So yeah, because when you mix like something that you love with like, and that's the way you pay your bills and stuff like that, like it starts conflicting in some ways. So you still gotta have different outlets, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. I feel like sometimes it's nice to kind of take a break from something you love and try something new, just to kind of like, because then when you go back to it, it makes you love it even more in a way because you missed it.
Right there, Charlie. You got that. Yep, on the ball. That's it.
Like, I've only got one more question for you, so it's gone really quickly. But anyway, my last question for you is, what has been the best experience in your choreographing career so far? Tricky question.
That's a tough one. I actually never thought of that, to be real honest. But you know what? I think I wouldn't say it's like too much of like one moment. I will say, through this experience, it definitely one of the things that I would highlight is the relationships that I build within it. Um, there are people that I like, directors and stuff like that, that I don't even know, and through this experience that hire me for different things, like out of nowhere. And then when I show up to the job, they're just like, hey, like, I saw what you did on this movie, or I saw what you did here, and that's why you're here. And they're just like the coolest people, you know. And it's people like Amy, people like yeah, just like different things that even like things that I acted on and stuff, like really respectable people that like I never thought that I would meet before, and they were reaching out to me, you know. Even, honestly, like even right now, like meeting you, like would this happen? Like a lot of people reach out to me and they ask me different things, and it's just kind of cool that people, some people reach out to me. It's kind of weird, as it kind of comes out in a creepy way. But you reached out to me, and I was just like, hey, like it seems like this guy has it together, you know, like.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, like the way you asked, definitely had manners and respect and courtesy, and you did it in a respectful way. There's people that just throw their resumes at me and go, so is there a season 8? Here's my reel. And I'm just like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't even know who you are. And I don't know if there's gonna be season 8. So to be real honest, like, I don't know. So yeah, so it's just some craziness. But even right now, you know, getting to hang out with you and meet you, and you don't even live in Canada. You know what I mean? So all these like it, and this doesn't happen to everybody, you know. So it's just like the cool things and the cool people that I get to meet. Those are like, I'm a really big person within like connection and good relationships. So those type of things throughout my career definitely like highlight the moments.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do really appreciate you coming and everything. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. It has been a pleasure speaking to Pyro today. I hope you all have an amazing day. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another interview. Bye, everyone.
Appreciate you guys. Andrew Pyro Chung, Toronto, Canada, here with Charlie Wheeler, doing it up for the next step. I'll see you guys again. Peace.